This collaboration is awesome because you can find something and flip it to look modern, vintage, or farmhouse. So let's see what is on the schedule for today. The host is the Russet Willow and Southern G. Moore Gals. The co-host is the Chic Show DIY. These ladies are wonderful to work with, kind and helpful. So please subscribe to their channels, like, save, and show them some love by giving them a positive comment. The link to their channels is listed below. In addition, please follow the playlist where there are wonderful crafters that will show you what they can do related to the challenge. So let's get on with our first DIY. The first DIY is a tin vintage Christmas ornament, and the supplies needed are a tin plate round muffin cup from Amazon, an old brooch, this is from an estate sale, E6000, and needle nose pliers, a hammer, and a nail. And the last thing that you will need is a metal place card holder. Now this project I saw that Sharon Louk had done, so I was kind of looked at what she had done to see what I could do with some of the things that I got from the estate sale, which was the brooch. I happen to have many brooches where the backs had broken off and have used them for various projects also. So what you want to do first is start the project by finding an area to punch a small opening into the lower half of the tin plate muffin cup. I made a small opening with a hammer and nail inside the rim of the tin muffin cup, and this was done on the lower part. Now originally I tried to push something else in there to make sure that I could get an opening in there large enough to thread the metal card holder, but I found out that a hammer and a nail worked best. So the opening was done large enough to thread a part of the metal place card holder. Now I had to use some needle nose pliers to bend the place card holder so it would not fall out. And then I had to cut off the excess. Well, this was a little challenging because I was trying to bend it while it was in there, plus trying to cut off part that I didn't need. And then I threaded it through the opening after a few adjustments. I removed the hook from the brooch, making sure that I didn't damage the beautiful rhinestones on the front. And this was a great find at an estate sale because it fits so nicely inside the tin. And it's really was big enough to fill up the entire bottom of the tin. Now, one of the things you have to remember is to be generous with the E6000 because it must be glued to the entire bottom of the tin. If not, you don't want it at some point in time to fall out. It needed to dry for 24 hours before you hung it on the Christmas tree. And then the other thing is you wanted to make sure that it was hanging straight. And I think it looked so lovely. I mean, it looks modern and it looks vintage. But, you know, if you make one, you'll see how beautiful it is. I am so pleased with the results of this one. Now, on to number 2. Now, this is a salt shaker snowman. And I got this inspiration from Dalia Blevins. She collects perfume bottles and salt shakers and makes them into snowmen. And I thought, oh, these are so cute. You could put them on a tiered tray. You can set them in your kitchen. They're just really are beautiful. Now, the supplies that you need are a salt shaker. And I got my salt shaker from the Goodwill. Some ribbon, a small bell, place card holder because you need the wire, and these things are really, really sturdy. Some black gems, green stock card paper, a Christmas stamp, barbecue skewers, orange acrylic paint, some scissors, a styrofoam ball, and this is a small one that can be used for a head that will fit into the salt shaker. Not all the way in, but just on top. Some white felt, some hot glue, E6000, Epsom salt, and some metal stems with acrylic gems. Now, this seems like a lot of supplies, but it turned out so cute. So what you want to do, the first thing, is to untwist the cap, and you can pour your Epsom salt in, and then I had to put the top back on because I didn't want it to fall and all of the Epsom salt come out. Now, the nice thing about this is the Epsom salt looks like snow, and I did not fill the snowman all the way up to the top, but just kind of halfway, so you could see that it was snow in there, and then, you know, you can also shake it. Now, the crystals were already on a wire, and I had to make sure they were very, very tightly wound together, and I pushed them through the cap of the salt shaker. Now, I had to get some pliers and help to pull it through, and then at one point I think I had to get an instrument and push down into the hole to make it a little bit larger so that I could get the crystals on a wire inside there. After you have pulled the metal stems with the acrylic gem, then you need to anchor it down. And the way you can anchor it down is to first use the E6000, and then on top of that put some hot glue. And I left mine upside down, the cap that is upside down, so that it could, I guess you could say, cure, so that it would not come apart. So again, you have to pull the metal stems with the acrylic gem, and then you have to pull in your place card holder into another opening, and you're going to again bend the wire to the side, add E6000, and then top it off with hot glue. Now, you can use some wine colored wire ribbon. I happen to have this in my stash, and I originally had wrapped it around the very bottom of the salt shaker, but as you can see, I removed it because once the head was placed on top of the salt shaker, you had a large part of the neck there, and I wanted to cover the entire part of the neck. Once the ribbon is tied around the entire neck around after you've placed the head on, I tied it into a bow. Now you can see originally I had tried to put a pearl there, but the pearl just didn't seem to match the vibe of the snowman. So I took the pearl off and placed a jingle bell there, and I think that looks much better. And it was a gold jingle bell, because even though the top was silver, you do have some gold in there with the wire with the gems on it. Normally the head is made with clay, you know, just a little round ball of clay. However, I didn't want to bring out my clay, but I did have a styrofoam ball, and so that can work also. I had some white felt, and so I covered the acrylic ball with the white felt. Now, one of the issues that you can encounter is that the felt was a little bit on the thick side. So I ended up pulling it to the top as much as I could. I used hot glue to adhere the cap of the salt shaker to the top of the head. Then I added some eyes and buttons. The eyes and buttons were made using black gems. Then I used a larger black gem to make the buttons down in the front of the salt shaker. You can glue the head to the body of the snowman after you have pretty much had everything. Now I took the ribbon off, as you can see, and I put it up a little bit higher and made a bow. And since it's wire ribbon, you can bend it any way that you would like. Now you can use the pearl, but I thought the jingle bell looked a lot better. Then the place card holder needed a saying in there. So I stamped a Christmas saying and stuck it into the place card holder. I used the sharp end of the scissors to make an indentation to adhere the nose. And by the way, the nose is the tip of a barbecue skewer. I think that works well on small items. You can paint it orange, and then I just hot glued it to the face. And there you have it, a salt shaker snowman. I think it looks so beautiful, and you can place it anywhere in your home. But the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to use it as a salt shaker because Epsom salt is not to be eaten, so you want to keep it probably away from the little ones. The last DIY is a vase made from a threshold stacked glass ball floor lamp. Now, this was a lamp that I had and it wasn't working anymore, and so I took it apart and kept some parts and threw away some of the other parts. As I had it, I thought, oh, this would make a nice vase. And the supplies that you need are very minimal. It includes one glass ball from the floor lamp, and if you want more vases, you just keep more of the glass balls. I have some others somewhere around. And hot glue, one connector, and one round floor protector, and then you just get your floral stems and you have a small piece of styrofoam. After you have secured and cleaned the glass, and by the way, it was speckled gold, which made it even more beautiful, make sure the opening will fit the styrofoam that is on top of the floor protector. So these floor protectors are small, they're just round, and I did have to cut it so that it would fit more snugly into the opening. And once you have got the fit that you need, then you can use hot glue around the opening and fit it in, and it is pretty secure. You put some stems of gold and just a touch of greenery, some pine cones, and a glittery gold deer. And it looks as if it is hopping over the trees. Well, that is all Z9 Design family. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like, save, and comment. And there is a prize for some blessed subscribed family members because I reached 800. Yay! Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you greatly. As soon as I pick a winner, I will let you know and send you your prize. Also, family, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And remember, I would rather make mistakes in kindness and compassion than work miracles in unkindness and hardness. This is from Mother Teresa. See you later. Bye-bye.